So in tennis, we have 4 Grand Slams. We have the Australian Open over in Melbourne in January. We have the French Open in Paris in May, Wimbledon in June, and then we have the US Open at Flushing Meadow in August. Now, Grand Slam tennis is a little bit different to the traditional tennis that we see week in and week out. It's the best of 5 sets for men's. And like I said there with the total games in best of 3 sets, we see differences on the different surfaces. If we're looking at a French Open match, the games have actually gone up over the years from what they used to be. Around about 33.5, I would expect for an average first round match at the French Open. At Wimbledon, you're looking around about 36.5. And at the US Open and the Australian Open, around about the same, 35.5, 36.5 for an average first round match. Obviously, as the tournament goes up and the players are closer together and competitive in the betting, the lines of the total games will go up. The one thing I would say here, though, is that traditionally at the French Open, it's the slower surface. As I've highlighted in the video before we've spoken about, if you haven't seen it, check the video out on the best of 3 sets. There's much more wipeouts in the total games on the clay court. And I've done some analysis over the last 6 or 7 years at Roland Garros. And if you bet under blind in all those matches, so we went under the total games, it doesn't matter what line it is, if it's 18.5, if it's 27.5, or 18.5 is a bit low for a best of 5. But if it's 27.5, 28.5, 30.5, you will make money. You will cash by betting unders blind. You may fall into one that goes over, but also you've got to remember at the majors this time around, especially at Wimbledon, with unders, a big advantage now is we have a final set tiebreak. Back in the day, you had to win by 2 clear games in the final set at Wimbledon and the majors, which meant we saw matches going on to 22-20 in the final set. We saw that record match between Nicolas Mahut and John Isner, very famous. I think it was a crazy match. There were 87 games in the total match. Now that we have a final set tiebreak, a super tiebreak, you've got to win by 10 points, first to 10 points. That has seen the total games go down in majors statistically over the years. So the rule of thumb here, we got carried away. We like to go overs. We like to bet things high. We like to see action. But on Grand Slams, especially on clay, especially at the French Open, we want to bet unders. Unders is the way to cash on total games in majors.